Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel of My Life and Our World. If you're new here, hi, my name is Tati, and if you like any of my videos on my channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. And if you like this video, also give it a thumbs up. So as you guys saw by today's title, I'm going to be talking all about what my experience and journey has been like as a high school sweetheart. Now, my boyfriend Tyler and I have been dating for 4 years. We started dating my sophomore year of high school on March 19th, 2015, and we actually just celebrated our 4-year anniversary a couple weeks ago in St. Augustine during spring break, and it was a great time. We kind of refer to it as like our graduation year of our relationship, since it's been like 4 years, same as like you get in high school or in college for like your diploma or something. But I do think that 4 years is long enough to give you guys an update on what our journey has been like so far, because there are some things that we've picked up along the way and we realize that people say or do when they find out that Tyler and I have been in a relationship for so long. So the first thing that I have realized in the 4 years that Tyler and I have been together, unfortunately, is that people really like to judge your relationship, especially when you start dating at a young age. And it really sucks because people don't realize that every relationship is different and every person is different. So I don't think that there's any right way or right time to start dating a person and realize that you want to be with them in the long term. But the two things that people often say to Tyler and I is they often say, is this really gonna last? And isn't this just puppy love? And puppy love is something that I get all the time, and it really frustrates me because when I was growing up and I would read all these romance books and think about like when I'm older what it's gonna be like to be with someone, and one thing that I always promised myself was that I wasn't gonna say I love you to someone until I really meant it and I felt it in my heart. Tyler is actually the only person that I have said I love you to, and I didn't say it for actually about like 3 to 4 months into our relationship. And he always tells me that he knew that he loved me way before I knew that I loved him, and he thinks that it's just because guys fall in love a little quicker than girls do, because girls tend to doubt ourselves a lot more. But when people say that Tyler and I's love is like puppy love because we are so young, it is really hurtful because we have been through so much together that our love has only grown. And I think that our love when we first started dating was a little bit more shallow because we didn't really know each other as well as we do now. We've been through so much. I really consider him like my family now, and so it is really difficult when people say that to me because I want to like just scream at them and get them to understand that it's not that. Like, love is love, and I think that love can grow until it becomes true love. But just because you start dating someone when you're younger doesn't mean that it can't develop into something real. Now, the other thing about our relationship lasting is a little bit interesting, especially because I think 4 years is a really long time. So when people are like confused if they think that our relationship will last the long term, I think it's a little weird because of course no one can know what each relationship has been through, but Tyler and I do. So it is a little frustrating when we hear that because we think that we've proven to everyone around us that our relationship is the real deal. But you know, there's something that you can do, and we just try to explain to people like why we think that we would be okay in the long term. So the second thing that I often realize is that people like to ask a lot of questions when I tell them that Tyler and I have been together for 4 years and that we started dating in high school. And I think that it's just because they're honestly really curious as to how it has lasted so long and what has been successful in our relationship. But I also find that most of them are just confused as well. So a lot of the things that they ask is like, is this the real deal? Like, are you guys really that serious? They also ask like, have you been with anyone else though? Another thing that they like to say is like, is this a forever thing? Is this it for you? Like, is this the only person you're ever gonna be with? And then they also ask, is Tyler your soulmate though? And I think all these questions are really interesting because a soulmate is definitely a concept that I've thought about a lot, and I've always been like back and forth on because I really am a true romantic. But I always do think that if something ever happened to me where like I like passed away or something happened to me and Tyler had to go and find someone else to be with, I would hope that there's still someone else out there that can make him as happy. So I feel like there are people all around the world that could be our soulmate and that we could have deeper connections with. So I don't know if there's just like that one true person for you, just because if it is like that and something happens to them, it is so heartbreaking. So I always try to feel like if something happened to Tyler that like I would still be okay, even though I'd be so so heartbroken. But I do think there are a lot of people out there that you could have deeper connections with. It's just a matter of meeting them. Now, when people ask if Tyler and I's relationship is like a forever thing or if this is it for me, it is really funny because like I tell them, like, if it was up to me, Tyler is the only person I'm going to be with, or like I'm not going to date anyone else. And so I really hope that that's what happens, because you never know how the future is going to turn out. But I think you can always plan for it, and Tyler and I definitely communicate all the time that like we want to get married and we want to have a future together, and we're going to be moving in together into the same apartment in the summer. So like we're definitely taking the steps to progress our relationship, and it has been so incredible like on this journey to like grow with him. But when people ask like if Tyler and I's relationship is serious, it's kind of funny because it's like you would think that if you're going to be with someone for 4 years, you would hope that it's serious, because like if you break up, a lot of people view that as like a waste of time. For me, I also think that every relationship is a learning experience. You will always take something away out of relationship that you can put towards your next one. So all the people that I did date before Tyler, I don't like hate our relationship, because I think that I learned something so valuable from each one that when I did start dating Tyler, it made it so much easier to kind of see like what I liked about him and what I wasn't going to compromise on. The next thing that I've realized and has been very obvious is that dating someone in high school is very different from dating someone in college. Now, what I mean by this is that when you're in high school, you are seeing that person every day, but most of the time not for very long amounts of time. And then when you do go on like dates with them, you usually go like on the weekend for a couple hours. So the time that you get to spend together is not as significant, but it also doesn't allow for like a lot of like really deep connections. Tyler and I definitely still like loved each other in high school, but I don't think that our relationship was as deep and as serious as it is now. And I think that this is just because we were caught up in so many things. We were really trying to do good on our SATs. We were trying to pass and get our IB diploma, which was so difficult and put a lot of stress on our relationship. We're also trying to deal with like us growing into the people that we wanted to be, figuring out what we wanted to do with our lives, what our future was going to be like, what college we were going to go to, if we were going to go to the same college, if we were going to go to different ones that were like really far distances apart. So there was just so much that was so unknown and that we still had to figure out. So it was really hard because you didn't want to like feel like you're putting all your eggs in one basket when there's just so much still to figure out. But now that Tyler and I are in college, it is crazy how much our relationship has evolved a bit, because I feel like we're just so much more mature, we're so much more serious, we don't have to deal with all this drama and gossip that happens in high school. I don't think that like my experience in high school with being in a relationship with Tyler was that difficult, but it is just very odd when there are a lot of couples in high school that were dating for a long time, and then as the relationship started to dwindle down and people started to break up before graduation because everyone was going their separate ways, a lot of people were looking at Tyler and I like, I wonder when they're gonna break up, because it's probably gonna happen. And that was so weird because Tyler and I were like still so committed to each other. We're like, there's no way we're breaking up. I always have this saying that I tell myself, that why would you fix something that's not broken? And I feel like a lot of people in high school broke up with people that they could have been with for a long time, but they just thought that in college you need to like go and have fun and find yourself and be with other people, and so they broke it off. And I feel like there's so many relationships that could have been so successful if they just stayed with the commitment. But I do think that when you go to college, your relationship matures a little bit because you're not staying with your parents. There's not as much control. You guys can see each other whenever you want. You guys really start to become adults. You become more individualized. You also start to figure out like what you want to do with your career, so that really shapes who you're going to be, and it can also shape your relationship. As you're in a relationship, you really have to keep an open mind when you're younger, because you guys are still developing so much. When you start dating people when you're older, most of the time you already have a job, you already know who you are as a person, you already know what your passions are. But when you're still younger, like you're still figuring stuff out. So you really have to like make sure that when you're with someone at a young age that you're willing to let that person grow as you evolve as well. Now, in regards to being in a relationship in college, the environment is definitely different, because in college people don't really care at all what you're doing with your life. I will say that it is a little bit more difficult to have friends in college when you are in a long-term relationship with someone, because a lot of people in college do not date. And I say this because I've met a lot of people, and there are not many people that I know that have committed relationships. I think there are a lot of people that like date people or like have friends with benefits, or things are complicated. I see that so much, like, oh, we're not really together, we're just like seeing each other here and then. There's definitely this sense that people don't like to commit to things in college because they want to have fun. You know, it's all about being with different people and going out to the parties and having fun with all these different people and not having to commit to just one person and being able to text all these other people at once. And that makes it a little bit more difficult to find people you want to hang out with. But that does not mean that your relationship is going to struggle in any way. If anything, I think dating someone in college is going to strengthen your relationship because you really get to see each other evolve and you get to support each other through that process. So last, I'm going to give you guys some advice if you guys are in a long-term relationship, or some advice if you ever end up dating someone and you guys are dating in the long term. My first thing is, like, don't listen to people who want to judge your relationship. There's always going to be someone that is probably going to be jealous, or they're not going to understand where you're coming from, and they're not going to understand that every relationship is different, and you honestly just need to believe in your relationship. I think you really just need to prioritize and figure out what's going to be important to you at this time in your life. For me, you know, last year I really figured out that Tyler is one of the most important things in my life, along with my family and my grades and my plans for my career. And so those are the things I've been, you know, putting the most time into. I love all of my friendships, but I have been a lot more picky with who my friends are. And I think that there's no problem with that. I've realized some of my friends that I've loved for so long, there's a reason they are my friends, and it is because they are so accepting of Tyler and I's relationship, and I'm so appreciative of them just like supporting us and being there to really congratulate us every step of the way. But there are friendships that I have had where the person has been very confused as to why Tyler and I communicate so much about our relationship and our future and like our plans to be together for the long term, because they think that like we should be with other people and we should find ourselves, and like you don't want to plan too early. And so really, I just realized like those are not the people that I need in my life. I want people to be there to understand like all the things that Tyler and I have accomplished in our relationship and why I believe in it so much. Alright, so that is all that I have for you guys today. I thought I would just give you guys an update on what the journey has been like as a high school sweetheart, and I don't know if I'll do another one in another 4 years, or if I ever get married, or if I get engaged, you know, things that I've realized. But I just want to put it out there that every relationship is different. There is no relationship that is going to be the same. You get to decide how your relationship turns out. Do not let other people's opinions and judgments about your relationship keep you from being with that person. You know, look in the mirror and look at the person and realize, is this the person I want to be with? And if they are, do everything in your power to stay with that person, because I'm telling you, true love does not come along all the time, and you need to take the opportunity when it comes. But I hope you guys loved this video. I hope you guys, you know, learned something or got something out of it. But if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Also, let me know if you want Tyler to be in a video, because I've been trying to convince him to be in one. So if you guys comment down below if you want him to be in one, maybe I'll get him in front of the camera. Okay, bye!